Welcome back to VT Sports, guys. This is The Rundown. I am your host, Chris Mano, and we are going to take you through the 10 most prevalent stories in sports, and we're going to start right now. Extramarital affairs overshadowing one of the biggest nights on the NFL calendar. That's a big no-no. Let's run it down. Obviously, guys, what should have been the biggest story in the NFL last night was the first round of the draft, and it was a doozy, and we'll get into it. But unfortunately, that's not the case we find ourselves in, as the Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini story takes on another layer. Yesterday morning, we learned that Coach Vrabel is going to miss day 3 of the draft to go get whatever help or counseling he needs, only for a couple hours later, it to drop everywhere that this affair has actually been going on for a half a decade, as pictures from 2020 have come out. I initially thought this was going to blow over quickly, with Dianna Russini losing her job, unfortunately, but Coach Vrabel being able to carry on as the head coach of the Patriots. But what you don't want to do as a head coach is to upstage the NFL, take attention off one of their biggest nights, and do it in a bad way. Mike Vrabel, I think you're on the hot seat, brother. You better figure this out quick. The first round of the NFL draft was pandemonium, and it was awesome. Let's run it down. If you somehow thought the first round of the NFL draft was going to be business as usual leading in, you were not paying attention. It was everything you want from a first round of the NFL draft. Guys sliding, guys getting reached for, and it was an incredible one, guys. I want to know where you guys stack this draft up. Send us in the comments. I want you to rank your 5 craziest first rounds, because this one, for me, falls right inside there. Hold up. They picked Ty Simpson where? Let's run this down. Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama, goes 13 to the LA Rams, and this one made everybody stop. I think most of us saw Ty Simpson as an early second-round pick with the potential to sneak into the first, but nobody, and I mean nobody, thought top 15. We've seen this happen in the past, a rush and a panic for signal callers, as it's one of the most important positions in the sport. But this was a crazy one, because Matthew Stafford is a reigning NFL MVP who looks to have maybe 5 great years left in him. That seemed to be what was on Coach McVay's mind, as he was asked about this at the post-draft press conference, and he really wouldn't comment on anything, but he did seem very perturbed by the pick. So we've seen instances like this before. I think immediately to the Green Bay Packers drafting Jordan Love while Aaron Rodgers still had great football in him. But it's an interesting dynamic now, because you want to see a team win while a quarterback's on their rookie deal so everybody else can get paid. That's not the case here in LA right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The Jets set the pace in the first round with 3 picks, more than any other team in the league. But how did they do with them? Did they knock it out of the park, or did the Jets just jet? We'll run it down. They grab edge rusher David Bailey at 2 out of Texas Tech. No surprise there, absolute stud. And they go on to grab freak tight end Kenyon Sadiq with their number 10 overall pick out of Oregon. Another phenomenal player. What they did later was they traded back into the first round at 30 to grab pass catcher Omar Cooper Jr., national champion out of Indiana, and that was Fernando Mendoza's top target. But what left people up in arms were the players that were still on the board at 10 when Sadiq came off. The main ones everybody's talking about is Ruben Bain, D-tackle / out edge out of Miami, and Caleb Downs, game-changing safety out of Ohio State. 2 guys I think everybody expected would be gone way earlier than they ended up being gone, and the Jets had a shot at both of them. We've seen this happen in the past where Jets bypass stars for guys who turn out to be busts, and there's never been a more boom or bust pick in this draft than Kenyon Sadiq. So we're going to see if it is a new time and a new age and a new era for the Jets, or is it just going to be the Jets? And 3 years from now, we're going to say, wow, we left all pros Ruben Bain and Caleb Downs on the board for a guy who looked great in his draws running around at the combine, but turned out to be boom. We're going to find out, guys. Say everything's bigger in Texas, right? Well, the Cowboys went and made the biggest move to me in round 1. Let's run it down. This is how you move in the NFL draft when you know that's my guy. Not flashy, no glitz and glamour, just precise. Cowboys did just that, so shout to Jerry Jones, who we're real hard on often, but he did a wonderful job yesterday, moving up just 1 spot to get an absolute impact player, a game changer, a leader on that defense, and a day one starter in Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. One of the most impactful players in the draft. I thought he'd go much earlier. When he was there, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys just had to go up and get him. Excellent job down in Dallas. Jerry, we're excited for this one. Chiefs Kingdom, stand up. You guys just got yourselves a dog. Let's run it down. Chiefs make a big-time move and trade from 9 down to 6 to get their guy, Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU, and Delane wasted no time making his mark. He stood in front of the camera, he took a deep breath, and he said, "Congratulations, Kansas City, you just got a dog." And he called out everybody else that didn't make that move to go get him. Brash? Definitely. Do I love it? Definitely. Will it pay off? We'll find out. If you're aware, the Chiefs over the last couple of years have done an excellent job of grabbing corners in the draft and flipping them later on for more value picks into the draft, okay? They've done it with L'Jarius Sneed, they've done it with Trent McDuffie, and it's worked beautifully. Mansour Delane is just the latest in a line of early corners they pick. Will he be able to live up to that? Will he be the dog he told us he will? We're yet to see. We're gonna find out. It's on you, kid. Big Apple, Knicks fans, we got a problem. Let's run it down. Knicks fall in Game 3 to Atlanta to go down 2-1 in their first-round series versus the Hawks. Jalen Brunson got his 26. He went 0 from 3, which is not a good thing, but that was not the biggest story here. The biggest story here is the 2 Knicks wings, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, who combined for a total of 2 points. 2 points from 2/5 of your starters combined is not going to cut it in the NBA playoffs. The Knicks traded 5 ones to get Mikal Bridges here. Those same 5 ones that could have been used to acquire a guy like Giannis or something at the trade deadline to put the Knicks over the edge. In New York, if you recall, they got within 2 games of their first NBA Finals in a quarter century just months ago. And they told Tom Thibodeau, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to go in another direction. And they grabbed Coach Mike Woodson. Mike Woodson's supposed to be the guy to make it a little easier on the players. Maybe practice isn't as hard. Maybe the minutes are distributed. Well, right now, the Knicks are lacking heart. They're lacking toughness, both mentally and physically. And they are, again, on the verge of going home far too early. Mike Woodson, this is a PSA to you. You better figure it out. You better figure it out now, because if you don't get to at least the finals, you might join Tibbs on the couch next year. KD, you're one of the greatest scorers we have ever seen, brother. We need you to go be more than that. Let's run it down. We probably don't talk about this enough, but we really should. Kevin Durant is in that space again. Still elite, still putting up numbers, but the deeper question is getting louder. What does it lead to? Kevin Durant is an all-timer, probably going to go down as one of the top 10 players to ever lace him up. He is no longer judged on his ability to get buckets. We've seen that. He's going to be judged on rings. He's going to be judged on impact. He's going to be judged on KD. Could you carry this thing when it matters the most? And here he finds himself again up against LeBron James, one of his only true peers of his generation, and he's down. We need you to stand up, KD. We need you to get big, and we need you to put your stamp on this series. Because if you don't, and if this series ends real early again, this conversation is going to get uncomfortable and fast. Return of the Mac. We've heard it recently, but it seems like this time it's for real. Conor McGregor back in a UFC cage? Let's run that down. Conor McGregor is back to making noise, and it's not just the same Instagram, whiskey, bad news stuff we've been hearing. It seems like this time it may actually be real. Videos are emerging of Conor looking lean and fast and crisp in the gym, and Dana White has pretty much all but said it's gonna happen. Now, when is it gonna happen? It hasn't been officially locked in. Obviously, most of us thought the return would happen at the White House card. I myself never saw that happening. They're not gonna waste a good gate on the White House card when people are getting in free invite only. They're gonna take Conor, they're gonna put him up on the shelf, polish him up real nice, and they're gonna send him out maybe 2 or 3 cards later to sell a $19 million gate and bring the UFC back to prominence, right? That's the goal, that's the hope for all of us. Conor, you are sorely missed, brother, in a sport where stars are not what they once were. Come back. Come be a star. Let's make one last run, Conor. In a first round full of craziness, This may have been the craziest. Let's run it down. So USC wide receiver Makai Lemon, everyone knew he was going to go into first, but where was the question? We heard a whole bunch of different options, and Makai Lemon apparently heard a whole bunch of different options. A viral clip is going around right now where he is on the phone with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are telling him, "We are going to be drafting you. Congratulations, you're going to be a Steeler." The family's going crazy, and suddenly Makai Lemon picks his head up and says, "Why is Philly calling me?" Only for his agent to run over and say, "Philly just jumped Pittsburgh. They traded for you. They're drafting you. You're going to be an Eagle." So the battle and the heat within Pennsylvania is ratcheted up right now. It was a really cool clip. I suggest you guys check it out. We're going to try to post that up on here. But shout to Makai Lemon. Shout to the Eagles for making a strong move. And Philly, you want your guy? Go get him. That is going to do it for us at the rundown this morning on what is a crazy day. Hopefully you guys had an awesome week. We're going to check in with you guys on Monday. Do us a favor. Like, share, sub what we're doing over here at VT Sports, guys. We run because you help us run. We appreciate you guys. We'll check in soon.